The truth about laziness. Laziness is not just some simple position in life that can be easily excused. It's not a personality trait that should be shrugged off with no concern. There are dangers to laziness, and today I want to talk to you about them because they're more significant than you may think. The dangers of laziness are actually pretty significant. They're consequences to a lifestyle that we choose when we decide to be lazy. One of the dangers of being lazy that we may not even think about, or maybe it's not even in our heads when we're just lounging around or deciding to procrastinate or not do anything, is God doesn't bless lazy people. God doesn't bless lazy ideas. God doesn't bless a lazy lifestyle. In Matthew chapter 25, verse 24 through 28, it says, "He also who had received the 1 talent came forward, saying, 'Master, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you did not sow, and gathering where you scattered no seed. So I was afraid, and I went and hid your talent in the ground. Here you have what is yours.' But his master answered him, 'You wicked and slothful servant. You knew that I reap where I have not sown, and gather where I scatter no seed. Then you ought to have invested my money with the bankers, and at my coming I should have received what was my own with interest. So take the talent from him and give it to him who has the 10 talents. If you've not heard this story before, basically there's these servants that the master entrusts some talents with, some valuable items or money. And one of the servants that we just read about does nothing with what's been given to him. There was another servant in that same story who took what the master gave him and multiplied it. And we see in this story that the master, who's a representation of God, blessed the one who took what was given to him and multiplied or used it, and he took away from the one who did nothing with it. God doesn't bless us when we take what's been given and we sit on it and be lazy. God does not bless a lazy lifestyle. In fact, he takes from those who are lazy and those who are slothful. He takes from them and he gives to those who are going to take that gift and do something with it. He takes and gives to those who are productive, who take initiative, who work hard. Now, I understand that we don't work for our salvation. That's an obvious truth that we all understand in Scripture, but that doesn't mean we don't work at all. That doesn't mean that we just sit in our laziness. If we want God's blessing upon our life, we must put in the work. We can't sit in sloth and think that God will bless us. We can't sit in our laziness and say, okay, one day God's going to take me where I need to go, and all I have to do is sit here and do nothing. That is not how this works. That is not how your purpose works. That is not how your calling is accomplished. God blesses and uses people who work hard, people who take what's been given and take initiative and are productive. He does not bless those who are lazy. That is a dangerous thing. I don't want to be one who's not blessed by God. I don't want to be one who's lazy and removes myself from the blessing that God has for me. Another danger of laziness is it's an open door to sin. Now, what I mean by this is that if we're lazy, that means we're not focused. If we're lazy, that means we have idle hands. That means we're not really doing anything productive with our time. And I believe that's a perfect opportunity for the enemy to step into our life while we're being lazy and bring about temptation, bring about sinful thoughts and ideas, and put us in position where we can easily fall. Because when we're lazy, again, we're not focused. We're not thinking about the will of God. We're not working our hands and doing what God's called us to do. We're being lazy with our day. We're being lazy with our lifestyle. And that's a perfect opportunity for sin to creep into our life when we're off guard and when we're lazy. Lazy Christianity is not just useless, it's risky. I don't want to be a lazy Christian and be easily tempted by sin. I don't want to be a lazy Christian and leave an open door for sin to enter into my life. Another danger of laziness is that laziness will cause us to miss God opportunities. Proverbs 22 verse 13 says, "The slacker says, 'There's a lion outside, I'll be killed in the public square.'" What is this scripture teaching us? What is it telling us? Is that the lazy person will make an excuse not to go out and accomplish something. Well, I can't go out to the public square because there's a lion out there. He's going to kill me if I go out. That's not necessarily true. There may be no lion, but the lazy person will make an excuse just so they don't have to do anything. And when we make those excuses to avoid work, most of the time we're actually avoiding godly opportunities, because godly opportunities are not easy, but they actually take work. And the lazy person will not want to do that. The lazy person will look at a God opportunity right in front of them and say, no, that can't be God because it's too hard, or because it requires too much work or too much of my time. godly opportunities do take work, and a lazy person will miss them. And there's this quote that I found. It says this: many say they can't get God's guidance, when they really mean they wish He would show them an easier way. I think this is so true, especially when we're talking about opportunities. Many times in life, God, I'm praying for a job. Lord, I'm praying for finances. God, I'm praying for healing in my relationship, or I'm praying for that you would help me fulfill my purpose, or whatever we're praying for. And God will put an opportunity and the way right in front of us, but we'll ignore it because it actually takes work. Most of the time, we're more concerned about our comfort than fulfilling our purpose, because fulfilling our purpose will take us out of our comfort. And the lazy person will miss godly opportunities. This is a dangerous place to be. I don't want to miss God opportunities. I want to excel in my purpose, not sit in my laziness. I want to respond to the opportunity, respond to the calling, respond to what God is saying, not respond and sit in my slothful attitude, in my lazy lifestyle. Laziness will miss God opportunities. The last one, before I get into this real quick, if you like this video, if it's helping you out, go ahead and give it a like, comment below, and subscribe to Reclaim Media. Okay, the last point, what's so dangerous about being lazy? Why can't this just be my lifestyle? What's wrong with it? It's not hurting anybody. Nobody's being affected by my laziness. Laziness is dangerous. And the last point is this: laziness is dangerous because we waste what God has given us. We become people who receive life from God, receive the breath of life into our bodies that we're now living today, and we waste it because we're being lazy. Romans 12:11 says, never be lazy, but work hard and serve the Lord enthusiastically. Ephesians 5 verse 15 through 16 says, look carefully then how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise, making the best use of the time, because the days are evil. We are called to spend our lives in a godly way. We are called, the scripture says, to good works, to do work for the Lord. Lazy people won't accomplish that. But think about this: how disrespectful is it for us to receive such a great life that God has paid such a high price for, and waste it by being lazy, waste it by sitting around and doing nothing with the life and the time that God has given us? We should not be lazy. This is disrespectful and dishonoring to the gift of life that has been given to us by God. I want to live my life in a way where when I'm done, I'm completely empty. I did everything that I possibly could. I gave everything that I could to the Lord to live a life that gave Him glory. I love the way that Paul says it: I fought the good fight. I finished the race. I've kept the faith. He poured himself out. He gave all that he had. He wasn't lazy. He did the work. That's the life that I want to live. I don't want to waste what God has given me, and laziness will waste the gift of life. So listen, maybe you've been struggling with laziness. Maybe you think it's just a passive lifestyle that you can just shrug off. It's not. There is dangers to laziness. It's a risky lifestyle to live, and it's a wasteful one. I want to encourage you, live a life of good works that glorify God. Live a disciplined life. Don't be lazy, but do best with the time and the life that has been given to you. Hey, thank you again for watching today's video. If you liked the video, go ahead and like it, comment below, and subscribe to Reclaim Media. And when you subscribe, make sure to turn on the notifications so that you can be notified every single time we release a new video, which is every Sunday at 11 a.m. Central Time and every Tuesday night. Thanks again. I'll see you next week.